Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And the first news we got during the week has been the reveal of the Spectral Shield Throw, which is not really a reveal. The gem itself has been revealed already, but GG came out and cleared a couple things. So for example, they started saying why or how they designed the skill. So pretty much it works for everything. So if you focus on armor or evasion, you're gonna get a good boost of damage, so that's going to be something that can work. Also, you can focus on energy shield and go for the additional crit chance. You can use pure energy shield and just go full crit. Also, you can go probably elemental or whatever, because the gem itself has a large amount of added damage that grows as the skill gem levels. So even if you don't boost your damage with armor or evasion, you're still going to be able to do a good amount of damage, which means it's probably going to be really good for elemental builds as well, especially if you can get some good jewels. Even though abyss jewels aren't as common as before, if you can get a lot of them and go full elemental, it's probably going to be great, just like how it's great with a Spectral Throw. And I think these skills are going to be pretty similar in terms of build you can do with them. But anyway, chaining works, and it works for the first part. So the shield that gets thrown is going to chain, and then it's going to explode, and the splinters are going to chain as well. If you use fork, the main shield will fork into two shields and they both explode, and all the shards will fork as well. So that might be actually good or better than chaining in certain situations. Maybe in closed rooms you're going to be forking really well. Also, piercing works. It does not work for the first throw though, so you will always hit and explode on the first enemy, and then the shards will pierce all the targets. However, due to the fact that piercing does not pierce all of the targets now, but it has a limited number, I think pierce is not going to be really good with this gem, but we'll have to see. I might be totally wrong. Also, as we already know, adding additional projectile will only add projectile to the shards and will not add extra shield that you throw. So there's also a very short video which you can check here. It's pretty cool, but it's really damn short as usual. And we also got revealed a new fight, which is Violenta, which is a boss in Act 10. And well, everyone pretty much expected this to happen when playing the last update, because you just get the quest for her, do everything, and then she disappears and you know nothing about her. So people were like, what the hell is happening here? And well, this fight was just not ready at the time, and it is ready now. It also looks like a pretty good fight, except for an extremely long ad phase where the boss just goes around invulnerable and bombs you pretty much. But we'll have to see how that goes. It's still into the early testing. And we also got a development manifesto about Ascendancy changes. So pretty much GGG is going to rework all Ascendancies, because they don't want some good classes and some noob traps. They want 19 good choices. So they're actually reworking, or not really reworking, but just kind of fixing some of those Ascendancies. Most or some are actually left the way they were, especially the most used ones. However, they are kind of rebalancing and changing, sometimes fully changing the mechanics so that the classes are more specific to what they should be. So for example, the Assassin has had a couple changes, and it's now more of a glass cannon, very strong on first hit on an enemy and also last hitting, and it has extremely strong assassination potential, and of course it's based on critical strikes. Guardian has had most of its 3 like unchanged, but they went around and adjust some of the less taken notes. Hierophant has become pretty damn strong now. You do not have unlimited totems, but you do not get less damage per totem summoned, so you can actually do a very fun build with a lot of totems. And it looks actually pretty strong, even though, to be honest, the Hierophant has not been very clear what it's about. I mean, it has totems, it has some other things, but the nature of the Hierophant is not too clear to me, to be honest. But I mean, it might be just me. And then GG has been revealing more Ascendancies on Reddit first, and the thread here has been updated. So we have the champion, which is honestly absolutely amazing right now. It has intimidation and it has taunt on hit, and it's looking really damn strong, to be honest. With just to say how strong it is, the permanent fortify you can get looks like the worst option here, but still we'll have to see how that goes. Champion is definitely one of the coolest classes at the moment in my book. Pathfinder has remained very close to what it was because it was already strong, and the Raider has been changed, especially the Onslaught path, which pretty much no one took, because having phasing with elemental damage and being immune to ailments was really strong. No one really evades taking the Frenzy Charging path, so the Onslaught path has been reworked, and the only thing that needed to be changed is the fact that now you can actually keep up your Onslaught by hitting rare or unique enemies, also by killing enemies, so you can have permanent Onslaught, and this is definitely going to be a really strong pair with Frenzy Charges. You can get like a Cycloner going at 1000 km/h, really fast, really clearing fast content. This is definitely the Sonic build. But anyway, we also got some new divination cards, and a lot of those are actually about Bridgestone. So you can get a Bridgestone, you can get Bridgestone Splinters, a Chayula, a unique item, Breach unique item. These kind of things make me think that Breach might not be in the game next league, even though I also think that would be like GG shooting themselves in the foot, because Breach was probably the most popular league in terms of fun and people actually claiming that, at least. Even though Abyss was good, Breach was probably a little bit better, and yeah, I think GGG will always keep Breach into the game a way or the other, like even on Zana. But we'll see how that goes. There's also some other very strong items like Starforge. It's probably gonna drop only on the Shaper's Realm, maybe on Shaped Map. That would be cool. Some Elven Jewelry, that's going to be actually really useful if we can get that while playing, so that you can actually level your characters a bit more easily. Also, we got a little bit of an FAQ on the Bestiary League. So the core gameplay, as we supposed, it works that you capture beasts, you cage them, and then you use them to craft. You sacrifice them, you fight them, and you craft cool stuff for yourself. Some beast crafting fights are going to be pretty damn hard, because when you're fighting multiple rares at once with bestiary mods, it can be quite scary. Of course, if you die during this fight and you play in hardcore, you're gonna get thrown in standard, as it's obviously going to be. But anyway, a lot of cool things can be beast crafted. We'll have to see how cool and how strong those are, but I expect them to be really damn strong this league. And about the capturing, so the chance to actually capture something is random. However, the lower the life of the monster is, the better the chance. So what happens if you have so much damage that you just one-shot every single enemy in the game? Well, you throw the net first. Once an enemy is under the net, it cannot die, and then you can do all of your damage later. So that can actually work. We'll see about how nets work in a second, but still, first, what kind of beasts can you actually capture? So pretty much all of the regular beasts that you encounter while playing Path of Exile can be captured, but there are also more. So for example, rare beast with a bestiary mod, which at the moment I am imagining it's going to be something like, I don't know, Talisman maybe, a little bit easier, a little bit less intruding, but this should happen like every hour or so, and it's a harder fight than your normal rare. Still not too strong probably. There's also going to be legendary beasts, which actually have their own icon in the minimap, so you do not want to miss those. And these are probably something like actually Talisman, where the beast has a lot of effects going on and you'd want to be careful. However, capturing these is going to be really good for actually powerful beast crafting recipes. And there's going to be spirit beasts, which are going to be the 4 kind of, which is definitely a tiger, spider, like a bird, and probably a snake. So these are the kind of the end game of the Bestiary League, and you have to beastcraft the portal to access them, so it's not going to be easy to actually get them. Beasts can actually be traded, so there's going to be a market for those, which is going to be interesting. If you're actually into beast catching, you can definitely make a buck in the market there. Also, there's going to be the menagerie, of course, with the /menagerie command. It's going to be pretty cool. You can also enter up other people menagerie and fight the beast encounters to craft together with your friends, so that might actually be really good and keep you safe for those kind of fights. The beasts are league-wide, so much like your Atlas and your Master, they are shared between all of your characters, and there's obviously going to be one challenge about catching all of the beasts, and if this includes the 4 Spirits beasts, it's probably going to be really hard, depending on if you can actually throw your net on a monster that's been netted by another player. So that will give the challenge to everyone. I am going to guess not, so this feels like more of a solo league in that case, but we'll have to see. Still not sure how that works. One quick thing about nets though, there are 10 tiers of nets, and it's pretty much 1 tier per act, so you can start really early. In Act 1 you use Act 1 nets, Act 2 you use Act 2 nets. While you drop, you have a chance of dropping the next tier of nets. In maps, which is what people actually care about, you are going to use tier 9 nets all of the time, and then you have your 10, which are the good, really good nets for the really good beasts that you wanna get. So I'm supposing that the better the net, the higher the chance of actually capturing something. If you fail the capture, you lose the net, the monster is enraged, and so it's really stronger, but you can actually try to capture it again, which is pretty interesting. I mean, as long as you can survive, you can actually try to capture a monster, and definitely capturing really high level monsters is definitely going to be really harder. It's going to require more nets, so tier 10 nets are going to have a market price for sure. Tier 9 probably not, as they will be given to you by the new guy who teaches you how to hunt, and you will also be able to actually drop them for monsters, so it's going to be the usual, as you know. So this looks really damn interesting, and there's not going to be any news until the league starts, because it starts this upcoming Friday. So, well, be sure to get your build ready, check the site regularly for Ascendancy updates and for the patch notes. Patch notes are going to come probably on Wednesday, as they usually come on Wednesday, although you might just want to wait a couple days, maybe a week, see what the streamers are playing, see what's the strongest build ever, and if you have very little time to play but you still want to complete the challenges, just take one of these very strong builds and very cheap builds, which some streamer is definitely going to find out really soon, and have your fun in the game. But yeah, I guess that was all for this week, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.